We live.
All right, what's up, man? What up, John?
Let's go. What's up, dude?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. Listen, I'm really interested in getting into this debate with you, but I'm going to tell you what, I've heard some of these specifically when we're dealing with modern debate. I don't see or hear, I don't hear a clear thesis given. And sometimes I see the debate framework just exit for no reason. And I'm wondering if
What about
in
this
this
debate
one,
framework?
yeah, well, let's try it out. So I'd love to see. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the thesis, the antithesis, and to stay within framework, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully,
Have you ever heard this debate before?
No, this is the first time I'm seeing this debate. So who we watching? We got the Crucible, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be Andrew Wilson against Fight the Flat Earth. Have you ever heard of him, Craig from Fight the Flat Earth?
Fight the Flat Earth. Yeah, is he an evolutionary biologist by any chance?
He is. Well, I don't think he's a biologist, but he has a evolution worldview, and
he's a proponent of
this is his first ever debate on basically like on metaphysics, on morality, and how you would justify secular humanism from a Christian worldview. So this is his very first
he chose Andrew Wilson to take on his first debate. Regarding metaphysics.
Yes.
Is he not used to? Does he? Okay, let me ask you this then: is Fight Against Flat Earth? Does he have a presence on the underground media exchange of debate or?
No, he has a huge background on debate because he's debated a lot of people. He's a very experienced debater, not a good one, but experienced.
Oh, yet to be seen. I'm gonna go in with a unbiased view, and we'll see if we can get it down like a clown, James Brown.
Let's go.
All right. DebateCon. How old is this?
This is
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to DebateCon 5.
Let's get past all this crap.
Free speech.
Oh, it's my rights, my free
And now-
speech.
And John of
Third sponsor is Manifold.
Look at this.
So a couple
radiations in the air. So I'd like to thank everybody for
Who was the one who let their girlfriend go up there?
Manifold. It's active sex account that next organized first.
Bro, is he wearing the same skull shirt that he wore when he went up against Jim Bob?
Representing secular
Probably.
humanism today, smash and get us started.
Does he have like a lucky debate shirt?
Hey James, can I say something just before we start?
Maybe that is his lucky debate shirt.
So
maybe that's what we're missing,
dude. Authoritative when they're talking about free speech. We will not be cowed to these people when it comes to free speech. But he was, and the Christians showed up, and they didn't. They didn't show up. He didn't show up. He bowed to the threats. We didn't bow to the threats. So no, I'm not willing to give you the slack. Sorry.
Can you hear this good?
We have 10-minute opening statements from each guest.
Right.
Andrew, the floor is all yours for your 10-minute opening.
It's like a funeral in here. You guys, you can make some noise. It's okay, right? You can, yeah, there you go. You can enjoy yourselves today. It's perfectly acceptable. It's all right. All right. The Humanist Manifesto, which is actually called Humanism and Its Aspirations. Humanist Manifesto 3. Blah, blah, blah. It's got a stupid title. It's terribly written. And it's complete nonsense. And no human being should ever adhere to it for the purpose of human flourishing or anything else. Yet some do, like Craig here. Its greatest issue is simply that it only makes vague, descriptive claims and not one prescription for what it should actually do. So I propose a new revised manifesto, and I'm calling it Humanist for Society and Its Consequences. Note, while drinking in my cramped hotel room last night at an airport Holiday Inn, James, I wrote this manifesto, which is the culmination of 100 Wilson generations of drunken reason, Irish sensibilities, and just a drab of single malt whiskey. Now, the quote-unquote normal modern-day debate viewer, who we would just refer to in the Crucible as not very smart, and, kind of fun to philosophically torture, much like a cat and mouse gently severing their soul from their body piece by agonizing piece, metaphorically, of course, not to mention being better than them in basically every aspect of life. Luckily, the Crucible's here. In case the low IQ MDD liberal scum wants to whine and cry for another 2 hours of Q&A after their man-humping Earth Daddy fled the room with his boy toy tears in his eyes while his dress was flowing. I don't think we're going to see a repeat of that this time, though. Right?
I guess that's why he calls it blood sport. Is the extra
let's
meta that he
launch
adds into the
my
conversation.
new and improved.
The what?
I mean, his mantra is blood sport apologetics. So I wonder if part of his debate strategy is to psychologically endeavor his opponent's headspace.
Yes, it is. It is because like it's
when you come up on my TikTok and my little TikTok and I'm debating you and you start getting into my headspace, it's gonna mess me up, right? So I'm like, don't call me names, dude. That's weird, And so I'm kind of push them away. But here you are at DebateCon. There's no running unless you're Dillahunty.
Yeah. Did you see that one?
Yeah. It reminds me when Conor McGregor fought, what's his name? Oh my gosh. And he got it too far into his head that he just ran out and got knocked out within the first, seconds. What's that dude? Great fighter, but he got in his head psychologically. He was disturbed. It's like the Mike Tyson stare down, right?
Yeah.
Like,
dude.
The first dude that looks away is like, oh God, I can't. It's Tyson. I think it might be what, Andrew Wilson brings. He just comes up with, more overall reds, the Crucible hat, and just sort of gallivanting about the stage any old kind of way and talking about and you're just
can you give me an epistemic justification for this? If you can't, then you're a fucking idiot.
There's a lure of confidence. Yeah, there's a lure of confidence with Andrew. Yeah. Just whatever. Go ahead. Anyway, sorry.
Moved Humanist Manifesto. Craig will be unable to refute any of my prescriptions based on his manifesto if he only uses his manifesto. Instead, he will require a normative framework to supplement that manifesto. He has to do this because without using the manifesto, what are we even arguing about? I can refute his prescriptions based on Christian ethics, church tradition, and effects to society, which is what this debate's about. What is best for society? But he's unable to apply that standard with the Humanist Manifesto itself. He must appeal to the sources outside this manifesto. So humanism has no real, measurable, actual, conceivable effect on society, yet Christianity does. He offers descriptions, I offer prescriptions. So here it is.
That's funny, is because like I know you've dealt with this a lot within your debates, but when we start talking about descriptions rather than prescriptions, people, they lose their minds. They're like, I don't know what that means. Like, it's so weird.
They start bringing out the analytical philosophy, or I like to call it the rope-a-dope, and like, well, if you take it to mean descriptions as in magazine descriptions, but no, that's subscriptions, you idiot. I mean descriptions. So just real quick. So we've got Andrew Wilson off the cuff. We've got the debate framework, which is the attack on. So I guess you'd call this the negative. I'm not sure. It's the attack on the Human Flourishing Manifesto. Okay. And so here's the claim. The claim is that the opponent, Fight for Flat Earth, right, cannot, without smuggling in components of moral realism or objective moral frameworks, which would be subscribed to a transcendent source or a standard external to the human mind, without robbing Peter to pay Paul, or as I say, smuggled real estate. So this is the claim from Andrew Wilson. So I'm going to hold his feet to the fire, and that's what he has to prove to me today. He's got to prove to me that in this manifesto of his opponent cannot be resolved in application without borrowing from the Christian worldview. That's the challenge. That's a thesis that I've extrapolated from his opening statement, unless you have something different.
so far, but I mean, like the problem is like with the manifesto that the Humanist Manifesto is that all it does it gives a description of what things are, so you kind of like fall into the naturalistic fallacy where you can't make it ought from an is, and it's going to play out wonderfully here.
I'm going to read to you the tenets of humanism according to the Humanist Manifesto itself, their own words, and then apply a reasonable and logical prescription to each tenet. Now, Craig has to debunk each of my prescriptions using the Humanist Manifesto, or he loses. Why does he lose? Well, because I can debunk the stated prescriptions easily using Christian ethics, and he can't debunk or even successfully argue against one using the Humanist Manifesto. He requires something else. Do you see the problem here? First tenet, Humanist Manifesto. Knowledge of the world is derived by observation, experiment, and rational analysis. Humanists find that science is the best method for determining this knowledge, as well as solving problems and developing beneficial technologies. My prescription based on that: the birth rate is low.
Tell me when to pause if you have any anything to say.
No, I just just to add in this, he's created his own fail criteria as well as his own success criteria. So you just notice he said, okay, every single one of these tenets that I have to position, you have to defeat every one of them from your own premises, or else I win. It's basically what he just said, right? So now he's created his own, within his opening statement, he's created his own failure, his own failure stratus line.
Experiments must be conducted.
Oh shit, my bad.
And success stratus line. And no, I just thought you wanted me to shut up, which is perfectly fine. I get that. My wife tells me the same thing all the time. She just presses play. That's fine. I get it.
We already heard her.
Yeah.
But no, no, I agree with what you're saying. Like he's given his criteria and his interpretation of what the Human Manifesto is so far.
Yeah, unless you do this, I win.
Yeah.
Fertility and thereby maximize human flourishing because science, and that is good. Humans, this is tenet 2 of the manifesto, humans are an integral part of nature, the result of unguided evolutionary change. Humanists recognize nature as self-existing. We accept our life as all and enough distinguished things as they are from the things we might wish or imagine them to be. So my prescription based on this vague nonsense: because humans are unguided, they require guidance. Maximum force from the state can lend itself to maximum results. People ought to accept things as they are, and that requires ending all charity to avoid giving them false hope, and that is good. Tenet 3, ethical values are derived from human needs and interest is tested by experience. This is in the Humanist Manifesto as well. So my prescription based on that: we ought to have an emperor. He ought to be Darth Logicus, a one world global government under Darth Logicus, supreme ruler of the federal peoples of Earth, will maximize the responsibility granted to them, thus recognizing their inherent dignity. And that is good. Tenet 4, life's fulfillment emerges from individual participation in the service of human ideals. My prescription based on this: we ought to occasionally beat random citizens to death with hammers, thereby reinforcing the value of the preciousness of human life, forcibly transmitting wonder and awe via the hammer, and that is good. Tenet 5, humans are social by nature and find meaning in relationships. My prescription based on this: we ought to eliminate all those who believe in violence, conflict resolution, who believe in violent conflict resolution, thereby making sure we eliminate violent conflict. We call this the paradox of violent conflict, and that is good. Last, working to benefit society maximizes individual happiness. So the descriptor here is: right now millions suffer from inequality. My prescription is we should just eat nachos, and that is good. Now, I can refute all these prescriptions using Christian ethics. Craig's unable to refute any of them using his own standard. That standard is humanism based on this manifesto. Again, do you see the problem? Unless he just makes it up as he goes, which is what he's going to do. And that's why Christian ethics are superior, thus destroying the entire ideology of secular humanism. If Craig moves away from this document, he's admitting defeat, something he knows a lot about. The advantages of Christian ethics is that it can provide a standard which is unchanging for what people ought to do, not just descriptions of what they are doing. Craig's moral framework necessarily must change by its own admission, which is why society hasn't adopted it and won't adopt it. They don't know what it will be in another 20 years, 15 years, 200 years. They have no idea. There are now 4 versions, because I wrote one more. Should we have, I don't know, 5,000, Craig, 10,000? I don't know. The Humanist Manifesto can be interpreted any way you want. I just demonstrated that by interpreting it how I wanted to, and can't even be used to refute bad prescriptions given by bad people like Andrew Wilson based on the Humanist Manifesto itself. So what are we even doing here? My society has produced obvious good results on society for millennia, including the fact that all societies which currently are considered the best are using my moral framework and not his. None, as in not one, as in 0 societies on Earth are run off the Humanist Manifesto. If Craig claims the manifesto itself isn't necessary to humanism or its doctrines, then again, what the hell is humanism? And how do we know what it is? How do we know what we're supposed to do with it? If we don't even have a document which describes it, then how can we understand how it works? If Craig claims we can use things outside the manifesto, he also, again, loses unless he can describe how that is humanism and how my prescriptions are not humanism, which is clearly defined with this manifesto I've been talking about. Also, I just want to finish with this. Craig doesn't know what a straw man is. I think first thing out of his mouth is going to be, Andrew straw manning me, okay? Which he also doesn't understand what ad hom means. He doesn't understand what a lot of these terms mean. I'm giving a position based on prescriptions, so I can't actually be straw manning Craig, because these are my views. They're not your views. He'll say I'm straw manning humanism.
Yeah, that's funny because like
so listen, I want to talk about this ad hom thing. When I hear the word ad hom, that's meaning to say John says something is true, but you know John's kind of a scumbag, so we can't trust anything he says to be true. Am I incorrect in thinking, like, okay, for example, you know, Nietzsche was a bad dude. He was really not a great person. So therefore everything Nietzsche said was wrong. Can we, that can't be the case. Now, do I have ad hom mixed up?
No, that's pretty much what ad hom is. It's like an ad hom is if you use the if your rhetoric is in place of your argument and all you say is just well, I think Constantine is a fucking idiot, therefore
everything he says, that's ad hom.
It's nothing. Yeah, but I can still call you an idiot and as well debunk everything you said and still call you an idiot. Well, that's just pertaining. That's pertaining to
that's where it gets. That's where it gets conflicted, right? So if I say, no, that's that guy's an idiot, okay, and here's why X, Y, Z, P1 through P, P1 through 3 conclusion. Okay, got it.
Yeah. That's what an ad hom is. It's like if you use your insult and in place of your argument. But if you are able to debunk their argument and at the same time call them an idiot, that's not an ad hom. That's just an insult.
Yeah.
It's just like, an insult.
I can give an example, right? So if you could quote Aristotle, they'll be like, oh, Aristotle believed that. He also believed that rocks returned to the earth because he thought they loved the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I think that's about Aristotle. I've heard that said before. Was that about Aristotle? I'm pretty sure it wasn't about. I think so. Anyway, that is an example of ad hom.
But I'm literally reading line by line, then giving prescriptions based on reason in regards to its tenets. So I don't really know what the problem is. Craig will not be able to refute a single prescriptive claim I've made by using his manifesto. All of my prescriptive claims are humanist claims. This is why humanism is the flat earth of ethical systems. And that's what Craig is. You're a moral flat earther.
That's hilarious because like,
did he get an applause from the crowd?
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh, let me see. Wow. That's going to add some pressure.
We'll kick it over to
you
Craig
just gotta
for
watch
his 10-minute opening statement as well. Thanks very much,
watch.
Craig. The floor is all yours.
What's with this little mini faux hawk that he has? Has someone not told him?
Yeah, well, that's what happens when people start going bald.
Dude, I get that. I'm fine with that. But just shave it off, right? I mean, okay, that's the same shirt that he wore in the other debate with Jim Bob. That's the same shirt.
Yeah, it is.
Stop wearing that shirt.
Hello. I thank Andrew for his presentation and reasons why Christianity is better for society, but I didn't notice either of those things. So I guess I'll just go to my presentation and explain why secular humanism is better for society. Maybe Andrew forgot what the debate was about. I'm not sure. Okay, so who am I? I'm Craig McNeil.
Okay.
I run the
So
YouTube channel,
pause it.
FTFE, where
Pause it. Okay, is the debate framework about secular humanism better for society versus Christian framework better for society? Is that the topic of the debate?
Yes, that's the first straw man he made.
Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, hey, I love Andrew Wilson to death, but did any of that have anything to do with why secular humanism is better for society or worse for society? Kinda.
Well, what Andrew did was he gave through the secular manifesto.
Yes.
He gave a prescription for that. And then now he's like, hey, this is the framework on what you work on. And I am using your framework. And now you have to debunk that.
Okay. So do you think it was within good purview for flat Earth theory, to make the comment? Well, you're not even speaking on the debate.
Hey, Nub, what's up, bro? What's up, Nub? This is just buddy stream, but without Westford. No, this is not buddy stream. No, we buddy stream is coming back. So just calm down, bro. Calm down, Nub. All right, calm down, dude. Buddy is coming back. There has been a lot happening. Calm down. It's coming, and it's gonna be good.
So Christianity or secular humanism, which is best? I don't think it was completely outside of the framework of the debate for Wilson to position this, kind of golden calf manifesto that would lie in opposition and set up his own criteria of fail or success. However, I do think that, Craig has a good point. And okay, I thought I would remind him on what the debate premise was. I don't know. I guess the verdict is out on that.
Okay. Come on. What the hell's going on now?
Do debate the dumbest people on the planet, people that think the earth is flat and stuff like that. But today I'm here to debate why secular humanism is better for society than Christianity. Again, Andrew maybe missed the title of the debate there. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Just deleted my script, bear with me.
What?
All right. What is secular humanism? Secular humanism is a philosophical stance that values the capacity of individuals to act with autonomy and emphasizes critical thinking and evidence-based reasoning. It prioritizes human welfare over objective knowledge over religious dogma or superstition. Secular humanism centers on upholding reason, ethics, and justice as foundations for a humane society. It advocates for human rights, social equality, and the continuous search for truth through scientific and rational inquiry. Secular humanism is all about cutting down the hurt and boosting the happy. It's a no-brainer. Less suffering, more thriving. This principle shows up in the nitty-gritty stuff like public health policies and safety rules that actually work for us, not against us. Forget the days of wiping out chunks of Europe in the Crusades. Now we're into making life better, not starting wars over divine favor. It's not about making choices that help. It's about making choices that help everyone.
It's funny because these people always use value claims. Like they say, oh, well, this is better than what you have. This is more good than you have. This is gooder than you. I am gooder than you. And when you ask them, like, well, what are you? What's the methodology that you were using to say, hey, if this is more good than what I have, what's your standard?
Yeah. But the Christians did the Crusades. But the Christians did the Crusades.
But there was God said you could have slaves. God said you could have slaves.
Let's do this. Check it out. Watch this. I got it. Hold on.
But the Christians did the Crusades.
Pretty much. But you God, you need a man to tell you what to do.
Yeah. Did my voice come through your audio like it was supposed to? I got my special soundboard.
It did.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. The Christians did the crusade. Oh, not that one. Hold on a minute. Watch this one.
No, but bad thing happened. But bad thing happened.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, they sure did. Just one time, I want to be on just TikTok and be like, and praise God. Did he really mean to kill everyone in the Amalekites? Yeah, amen. Yeah, he did by his sovereign judgment.
But bad thing happened.
Yeah. God not real because tornado.
Yeah.
Everyone, proving that we can do a lot of good without any kind of holy wars.
Sick.
Secular humanism sticks to reason and real-world proof to keep its ethics sharp. We're not about bending the rules to fit old-timey text or mystical claims from a Sky Daddy as the world changes. Thanks to tech upgrades and new social twists, we update our moral code too. It's about evolving the mind, not getting stuck in scriptural mud. Secular humanism lays the groundwork for a society where common sense and fairness call the shots. It's all about using solid evidence and treating everyone equally to build a place where everyone gets to do what they need to thrive. This way, we all have a shot at living our best lives. Secular humanism taps into what we all feel deep down, things like empathy and compassion that cross all borders, instead of relying on the whims of deities with their own dodgy moral compasses. It builds ethics on the real shared experiences of all humans and the things we go through. This keeps things fair and focused on what actually improves our lives, helping guide smart, kind decisions, no matter where in the world you are.
That's true. No argument. It's just an assertion.
It's just an assertion. How does he have such a huge debate platform? Because I mean, you get your legs cut off on TikTok for that.
Well, he's known for debating just flat earthers. So like that's like the lowest of the lowest. Like if you ever,
well, I mean, So Andrew Wilson is known for debating cam girls. So I mean, I guess you know.
Well, no. He might be known.
He takes big opponents, but he
has gone up against popularity. He has gone up against the biggest people on the platform. Yeah. He has gone up against them and won them. And but he is his debate history is only against flat earthers. So that's like
that's not a very well-rounded
yeah, you don't have to like you can debate flat earthers, but I would put flat earthers lower than these 304s that Andrew has debated.
Yeah, I just want to make it a point that what I meant by saying that Andrew Wilson, made his bones debating cam girls. I shouldn't have said that. I'd like to retract that statement because I immediately realized that that's not true. So let me just default on my own heretical position against Andrew Wilson. Right. So in other words, I don't think he's famous for it, but I think that he is well known amongst his opponents for it because that's often an attack point that they'll use. So but it's not to take anything away from Andrew Wilson. So I should not have said that and immediately regret it.
It's okay. Nubs, can you please? Nubs. Can you please slap Constantine for me?
Yeah, just help me cope.
Yeah. He needs it.
Help me cope. I didn't mean it.
It's about playing by the rules that make sense for everyone, not just the heavenly few. Secular humanism relies on scientific evidence and rational debate, driving major advancements in civil rights, healthcare, and education. It champions facts over fiction, leading to real-world solutions that improve lives. Christianity often lets ancient texts block modern scientific progress, from stifling stem cell research to opposing gender equality. It's held us back more often than not, clinging to outdated beliefs that don't match today's realities. Secular humanism adapts to new moral challenges and societal shifts, always looking to refine and improve ethical standards based on human needs and new information. Whereas Christianity is stuck in the past, often finding itself on the wrong side of history with rigid doctrines that clash with modern values of fairness and justice. Whether it's LGBTQ rights or women's rights, the inflexibility leads to exclusion and harm. Secular humanism embraces everyone, no matter their religion, gender, sexuality, or race. It's built on the idea that ethics and rights are universal, everyone's included, and everybody matters. Christianity, too.
Hey, so just real quick, I
noticed
that.
A divine law.
Go ahead. Sorry, I had to pause it.
Yeah, about this great moral compass about secular humanism. I mean, we're not on the. I don't see any of us as of late on the rooftops of certain college dorms, sniping our adversaries in front of the entire world to see, under the guise of better, what do you say, of fair, equal living.
Yeah, but what you don't understand is that Charlie Kirk wasn't fascist enough.
No. So what he's advocating for is that there's this other society that would be so much that would offer so much utopianism, right? If only we were to subscribe to his worldview. But if you don't, we'll kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how do I know that? I don't know. I'm just gonna appeal to consensus. I'm gonna make that fallacy. What's the consensus? That trans people murder other people for not being trans. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but then it just happens. Just because it happens doesn't make it ew, cringe, lol. Yeah.
Law, leading to social fragmentation,
Exactly.
whether it's condemning non-believers or marginalizing communities. It's more about in-groups and out-groups than universal brotherhood. Now, I'm going to debunk some of Andrew's more outlandish claims about secular humanism, starting with his peculiar fixation on necrophilia. I don't know why he brings that up so often. Let's set the record straight. Secular humanism puts a premium on consent and continued consent, because there are two parts to consent. Crucial elements that are obviously absent when one party is deceased. Unlike some ancient doctrines that might overlook such nuances, our ethical framework ensures respect for both the living and the dead, advocating for laws that uphold dignity for all. Moving on to intriguing cultural practices that Andrew likes to also bring up.
When you say that it's dignified for all, is that what he said? I don't want to.
Ensures respect for both the living and the dead, advocating for laws that uphold dignity for all.
Yeah. How do you get dignity?
Yeah, so dignity is going to be, in his view, a social construct. That's what he's going to have to say.
Yeah, my dignity is better than your dignity. That means,
my
hey,
dignity, my dignity football punts babies. I find that to be very dignified.
You heard it here, guys. Constantine said that.
Oh, and also empathy. He's also mentioned empathy. Where's the empathy for me, the baby punter? I don't have any empathy.
No.
I'm only in the this is the world you've created for me, Craig. This is the world you've created for me. Now I'm gonna walk it out. I'm just gonna walk it out.
Walk it out, bro. Walk it out.
Moving on to intriguing cultural practices that Andrew likes to also bring up.
No.
Andrew tends to highlight a particular tribe with rituals that are less than conventional. Secular humanism doesn't give a free pass to every tradition out there. We critically assess their impact based on real harm, consent, and continued consent. We respect cultural diversity, but we stand firmly against practices that harm or exploit, especially under the guise of tradition. We believe in evolving traditions that promote human rights and dignity, not those that trap people in harmful cycles. And about that favorite narrative of Andrew's, that secular humanism supposedly opens the door to moral relativism. Here's the truth. Our moral framework is solidly anchored in the observable impacts of actions on real people, promoting behaviors that enhance well-being and reduce suffering. We rely on reason and evidence to guide us, not fleeting feelings or ancient edicts. We find deep meaning in human connections and logical thinking, striving for a society that values real outcomes over theoretical purity.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you come to
Andrew,
how
well,
do
you might be...
How do you come to a logical conclusion? Like, how? What's the process? What's the methodology? How do you come to logical conclusions? All you're gonna say is, well, this just is it's just a consensus.
Yeah, we stand on the shoulders of Sam Harris when we say that there's a human flourishing, and that human flourishing is best dictated by the consensus, and that consensus is best prescribed by Pol Pot, Genghis Khan. I don't know, baby kicker, atheist of America.
Debate the ethics of bygone eras. We secular humanists are busy applying rational, thoughtful decisions to improve real lives today. So while some are still praising the finer points of medieval texts, we're ensuring that everyone right here and right now gets a fair shot at a dignified life, underpinned by principles of...
I know, it's like, when you talk about medieval, like, that's so far within the future of what Christianity actually is.
You talking about that, like, King James, bro?
Yeah. King James! Just to let everyone know, Constantine, don't give me any hate. Don't give me any hate. Constantine is a Calvi.
It's all good. I was invited here.
He's a good bro. He's a good bro. So
consent and continued consent.
I will say that I have a strong
just a commitment to common
sympathy for Eastern Orthodox Church.
Now, the ethical failings of Christianity through both historical and modern lenses is an interesting thing. Historically, Christianity has found itself on the wrong side of morality, crusades, inquisitions, where violence is not only justified, but glorified as a divine mandate.
And just to let you know, I do have a soft part for my fellow Calvi bros, my ex-Calvi bros, okay?
If
you want to get mad at me, if these people want to get mad at me, get mad at me. But I
just want to say, I find that the Eastern Orthodox Church traditions, ecclesiology, and interpretations fascinating and also very convincing. That there's a strong evidence to hold. If I was not of the Protestant Calvinist persuasion, I would see that the default would be the Eastern Orthodox Church. I'll say that. Best I can do.
Yeah, and don't worry, we'll convert him. What does Noah have to say here? He's old.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the historian's fallacy, historical something like that.
Then there's the endorsement of the slavery and colonialism, where scripture was twisted to justify the unjustifiable, oppressing millions under the guise of spiritual destiny. Fast forward to today, and we see the doctrine's lingering effects in discrimination against LGBTQ individuals and the suppression of women's rights, often justified by some ancient texts. These aren't just old tales; they're ongoing issues that affect real lives, fueled by policies and attitudes steeped in outdated belief. And divine command theory, well, God said it, so I believe it, and that settles it, really. Because basing your moral compass on what you think the deity commanded you.
Yeah, that's...
What? That's not what divine command theory is. God, change your shirt.
If any of you guys are watching, the two of you, if you guys want to join in and talk some shit, come on in, bro. Come on in.
Hey, since this is like YouTube, right? So I can say whatever I want, or what? Like, this isn't
not whatever you want, not whatever you want, but just you can.
Can I be extreme with? Can I be extreme? I don't want to cuss. I just want to be extreme with my views. Like, am I gonna get banned from YouTube, or can we say anything? Because I know on TikTok, like, I'd already be banned.
Go ahead, say it.
Okay, that's crazy. Okay,
I give you permission to say whatever you want to say.
I just don't see a lot of white Christian heterosexual males on the roof sniping our political opponents or their activists. That's all I'm saying. So this better world that he is equivocating to secularism, If that's your example of a better world, I'm sorry. I'm in the wake of an assassination right now, and you'll have to forgive me if this is too soon, but that's still the taste I have in my mouth is of your secular humanism. And it's the bad fruits of a failing civilization that is turned into a godless manifesto. That's what I'm seeing.
Base as fuck. Base
Okay,
as
hold
fuck,
on a
dude.
second. Wait a second. Hold on. Did my crickets come through?
Yes, we can hear your
Okay, good.
crickets. Come on.
Millennia ago is like letting your drunk uncle navigate your road trip. Both are dangerous and outdated. This approach has led to some pretty sketchy interpretation of what God's will looks like. Turns out it's super flexible if you want to justify just about anything. But in contrast, secular humanism doesn't just get its ethics from celestial whispers or sacred texts written before we figured out the Earth orbits the sun. We use reason, empathy, and evidence to form ethical frameworks that address real-world issues, not dictate dress codes and bedroom activities. So while Christianity clings to its ancient script, secular humanism is busy solving modern puzzles, moving forward, not backward, building a society based on equality and science, not superstition and suppression. It's time we left the biblical ethics in the past where they belong and focus on building a fairer world for everyone. Because let's face it, if your moral system has more plot holes than a bad soap opera, maybe it's time for a rewrite. Secular humanism isn't just good on paper, it's spectacular in practice. When we base our ethical standards on reason and human well-being rather than ancient scriptures, we end up with policies that genuinely improve lives. This isn't about lofty ideals, it's about real benefits like better healthcare, advanced education, and robust welfare systems.
Better healthcare like Planned Parenthood.
Faith. Here's something Andrew might.
Hey,
yo,
don't talk about my dead daughter that way.
Find hard
yeah,
to
better
swallow.
healthcare.
The
Yeah.
happiest countries in the world are overwhelmingly secular. Look at global happiness indices. Nations that embrace secular governance aren't just a little happier, they're leading the charts. These countries have higher standards of living,
like China,
more inclusive laws, and you guessed it, they're pushing the envelope in science and technology while respecting individual freedoms. Why does this matter? Because in secular societies, health and welfare are not afterthoughts, they're priorities. We see significantly better public health outcomes when policies are shaped by science, not superstition. Lower rates of poverty, higher life expectancy, and greater social equality. These aren't coincidences, they're the results of choosing humanism over dogmatism. So
they keep using these value claims like it's better, it's better, it's better. But how do you justify it's better? That's why. And we're going to get into that later on. But
Andrew and his followers might yearn for the good old days of divine rule. The rest of us are enjoying the fruits of society that values all its members and bases its decisions on logic and love, not fear and control. In the modern world, secular.
What are these values that I'm supposed to? So those were the good old days of this divine of ancient text. Okay, so those were the bad days, and so now these are the good days. So we're in the good days of secular humanism now. Is that what I'm supposed to understand?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we have abortion.
Yeah.
How is that
No, I
not
get
good? Dude?
Yeah,
How's that not
absolutely.
better? I mean,
Yes.
if you think about it, okay, think about it. Before, we had people giving birth to children, but now you can just kill your child.
Yeah, hand walk them in there, and
Yeah,
then you
how's
can
that
come
not
up,
better?
and then you can come up on my TikTok and be like, God evil, God not real, because God kill babies.
Mhm. Yeah. It's better now, dude. It's better. It's better now. It's better.
That is what he's implying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Humanism isn't just a better moral choice, it's the blueprint for a thriving, progressive society. Let's remember what's at stake. We're not just debating ideologies, we're discussing the blueprint for future. Secular humanism offers us a path forward that no longer serves us in, that shackles us from ancient texts and divine decrees that no longer serve us in the modern interconnected world. We have a chance to build a fairer world, one where policies are not dictated by religious bias, but crafted from compassion and ethical evidence. A world where every individual is valued, where their rights are protected, not because a deity says so, but because our common humanity demands it. Let's choose a future where our children are taught to think critically, to respect science, and to care deeply about the welfare of others. Let's embrace secular humanism, not just because it offers better ethics, but because it leads to a better lives, happier and healthier and more harmonious. So, Andrew, I challenge you to look beyond the dogmas of the past and join us in shaping a more rational, just, and humane world. The future doesn't belong to ancient texts or celestial overseers. It belongs to all of us here today, ready to make a difference with every decision we make, grounded in reason and empathy. And James, thank you for bringing me here for my first ever in-person debate. And thank you, Andrew, for being my opponent.
No problem at all.
Thank you very much. I appreciate those openings, gentlemen. We'll kick it into the 60-minute open dialogue. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, so if you don't mind if I ask a quick question, do you have a copy of Humanism 3?
No.
You know, you do follow Humanism 3?
It's a framework, yes.
Okay, it is your framework.
Yeah.
Can you, using the document of Humanism 3, debunk a single prescriptive statement that I make?
Well, your prescriptive statements were just something you made up based on your personal interpretations of it. And,
so secular Humanism 3.
Yeah, I was in the middle of talking, Andrew.
So Humanism 3.
If you want to calm down when I'm talking, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, what you did was you said, I think this is what the manifesto says, so therefore I'm going to interpret it this way and bring my own prescriptions. Well, Andrew, your prescriptions are your prescriptions, and that is literally a straw man because it is your interpretation
straw man!
Of secular humanism, which doesn't align with what everyone else thinks secular humanism is. You claim I don't know what an ad hominem things are. Trust me, I debate flat earthers all the time. That's but yeah, I don't have to argue against your personal prescriptions. We can just talk about what secular humanism is better for society. None of the things that you mentioned are about society. They're just what you don't like about secular humanism. What I'm just going to ask you is very simple.
Humanism.
Yeah, what I'm going to ask you, Andrew, is very simple.
How long are you going to filibuster, dude?
Well, I'm going to talk about that question.
Okay, but
calm down and let me finish my sentence, then you can respond.
Craig,
right, what
Craig,
I am going to ask you
chill
is...
out, Craig. Stop spurging, Craig.
What I'm going to ask you, Andrew...
Craig.
I'm like 3 words away from the end.
Craig. Stop spurging. Calm
Are you
down.
okay?
All right, we'll get to the question. Go ahead, Craig.
Do you need a moment, Andrew? It's
Calm
okay.
down, Craig.
If you need a moment to like take a breath, that's
Go ahead,
absolutely
Craig.
fine. Yeah.
Craig, this is a great time to ask the question.
What I'm going to ask you, Andrew, is because you failed to do that in your opening, could you explain to us why Christianity is better for society?
Yeah.
Instead of just attacking your own views.
Yeah. So let's make this really simple, right? So Craig says here, he says, well, that's your interpretation of the Humanist Manifesto. You see the problem? Yeah, everybody's going to have an interpretation of the Humanist Manifesto. Thus, if everybody has an interpretation of the Humanist Manifesto, including me, we can make prescriptions based on it, Craig. So now I'm making prescriptions based on the Humanist Manifesto for what? Society. Okay, you are asking about Christianity. I told you that Christian ethics are better for society because I can refute the prescriptions made in the Humanist Manifesto that I just made in the Humanist Manifesto. You, Craig, cannot refute a single prescription I made off a single tenet in the Humanist Manifesto using your own manifesto. Do you understand that?
Yes, Andrew, I completely understand
so
that.
Doesn't that have a society entailment, a societal entailment, Craig?
Would you like me to answer the question, or are you just going to talk when I talk?
Can't wait. Go ahead.
Do you need a minute to calm down? It's fine. We can take 2 minutes, and you can
stop.
It's fine.
Hey, so by what Nobras just said,
again,
are they?
What you haven't
do they
done
subscribe to
is
solipsism?
No, I don't think he would subscribe to solipsism.
Well, hold on a second, because Nobras says, well, humanism says truth is relative, so what's the point of debating? Is that the consensus of all humanists?
Basically, that's what he's saying. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
if it's all relative, then how do we know that? Like, then what's the point of debate?
Yeah.
Like, there's like that's one thing. Like, the atheist can't. That is a very good argument because, like, if you're saying that debate is useful and that debate has a purpose, and then you say everything's an accident or everything is just relative, then what's the purpose in it?
Well, this is some hot water that Craig is in right now, right? So now he's going to have to. I'm interested to see how he's going to get out of this.
Why Christianity is better. You just said, I think it's better because I don't like secular humanism. That's not explaining why Christianity, what ethics, what morals about Christianity make it better for society. What you've done is simply attack secular humanism. You haven't given me a single reason why Christianity specifically is better. What you said is Christianity
Okay,
is
that's a
better because
dodge.
I don't like these things about secular
Yes, it
humanism, and I
That's a
want you to
dodge.
tell me why these things about secular humanism is bad. But Andrew,
Mm-mm.
you aren't here to attack secular humanism. You're here to defend Christianity. So you failed to do it in your intro. So can you just give me a single reason specifically without attacking secular humanism? Because that's what flat earthers do. You're acting like a flat earther. So flat earthers attack the globe instead of saying why flat earth is better. So instead of attacking secular humanism, could you give me a reason why Christianity is the thing that is better for society? Tell me what ethics, what morals.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when I make prescriptions based on a humanist manifesto, I can debunk those prescriptions using Christian ethics. You can't debunk those prescriptions using the humanist manifesto.
Well, go on then. debunk
That's
them.
why it's better. Okay, here, I'll
All right,
show
so
you.
There
Let's
we,
give
there
you
we
an
go. Get
example.
into it.
If we can go through
Present
these,
it.
we can get
Well,
through
that'd be wonderful. Yeah, because what I would like to hear is reasons why Christianity is better, not
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah,
why
he's
you
getting
dislike
to it,
secular
Cha.
humanism. This is about feel.
Yeah, he's a
Let's
Let's
do
do
spur.
it.
reasons.
Let's do this, perhaps, so that we're not talking past each other. Are you willing to steel man my argument here? Can you steel man it?
Well, your argument would be based on your particular version of Christianity, which is which again?
Yeah, but he never gave a basis for Christianity. He just used
No,
the
that-
secular
It's an ad
manifesto.
hoc- Yeah, that's an ad hoc to a so you're gonna you're gonna
What the fuck? An ad hoc to it.
yeah, you know, the atheist Tupac
Mhm.
came on my live and was like, that's ad hoc to it. I couldn't.
That is
So,
good. They
okay.
didn't-
So this is borrowed real estate. You're bringing in. Hold on, Matt. You're bringing in which God do you serve? That has nothing to do with what I just said. So I've got two unanswered questions. The arbitrary interpretation of the atheist manifesto that is yet to have been answered, and two, the claim is that your system cannot refute mine, but my system cannot refute yours. His answer is when he asked to still man the position, borrowed real estate. Well, which God do you believe in? What is that? That's a third dodge. So when I said earlier, I said he's in hot water. I'd like to see how he gets out of this. The answer is, the old dodge and deflect.
Can you steel man my argument, Craig?
Which
Yeah,
argument?
yeah.
The one I just made, Craig.
Your argument is you don't like secular humanism. These are the things I don't like about secular
No.
humanism. So I'm
No.
going to say secular humanism can do these things, and that means that secular humanism is bad. That's what you said, Andrew. You have given me a list of things that you think you can prescribe based on the Humanist Manifesto, right? That's what you've done, correct?
Uh-huh.
Right. So therefore, you are saying, well, these are the prescriptions that I think I can give based on secular humanism.
Why do I think Christianity is better? What's my argument? Christianity.
You haven't said yet.
I haven't
You've
said
said what you've said, Andrew, is that Christianity can debunk these things, but you
Uh-huh.
haven't explained how it can debunk them.
Okay, let's
Give
get
me specifics
here.
related to Christianity.
Let's
that
do
can
it.
Debunk the things about secular
Let's
humanism
do it.
you don't like. Because
prescription.
so far, you've given me no reasons
Greg,
why Christianity
Yeah,
is
he's
better.
in, he's
I'll
in,
do it.
he's in trouble.
The
lot of
prescription for
trouble.
one. Do you agree that
Jesus,
that the
bro.
first tenet for secular humanism is knowledge of the world is derived by observation, experimentation, and rational analysis?
That's what I said. And if we go back to the slide, which you didn't present any. But,
Why do
yeah.
I need to present a slide?
Well, it's because we've got a big thing up there to present slides, and I thought it'd be nice to.
have a slideshow.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, because one of us prepares for the arguments. The other one,
I didn't prepare for the arguments because I
Well,
didn't have a slideshow.
Yeah, Andrew, you've done a million debates like this. This is my second. I thought I'd do some research and prepare, and give something for the audience to look at. But
Can we get back to this?
Yeah,
Do you
please,
do
go
you
ahead.
agree? Yes or no? Tenet one, knowledge.
I did say yes. Maybe you have problems hearing, but carry on.
Craig, you need to calm down, bro.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm waiting for your.
Calm
what
down.
I'm doing, Andrew, is I'm waiting for your argument. But
I just want to make sure that we're clear.
yeah, we are clear. But
Okay,
you haven't
good.
yet
Let's
given
move
an argument
forward.
for your position.
Okay, so my prescription to that, Craig, is the birth rate is low. Therefore, all women must be forcibly bred, and experiments must be conducted on them to maximize fertility and thereby maximize human flourishing because science, and that is good. Now, Craig, that's what I read from
Uh-huh.
Tenet 1, right? Can you use any of the tenets in secular, the Humanist Manifesto 3 to debunk that prescription or tell me why that prescription's bad?
So still no reasons why Christianity is better. That's what I'm asking here. What you're saying is explain why this is good.
Because
I've yet
under,
to hear
because
why
under,
Christian-
okay, let me
You
explain.
said you can debunk that using
Bro,
Christianity.
Then I'll,
so can you?
I'll explain. Yes. So under Christian ethics, forcibly locking up women and doing horrible things to them would be a violation of God's law. It'd be a violation of Jesus Christ's law to man. So because of that, Christians would say, no, you can't lock women up and forcibly breed and experiment on them. You're not allowed to do that, Craig. Now, Craig, I just gave you a demonstration of how Christianity would debunk this. Now, Craig, can you use the
Yes.
Humanist Manifesto to do it? Great.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Well, so your prescription is a straw man of secular humanism. It's all right. I can explain why. All right. Because
That's
secular
all it
humanism-
is. That's all he has to say. It's just a straw man. It's a straw man, bro.
It's not good.
It's a
Not
straw
good.
man. It's a straw man.
The Crusades. Crusades were bad. God not
Where-
real.
Where did Nub say it? Where was it? Where was it? Where did you
Bad.
say it?
Crusades are bad. God is bad. God not real.
Bad thing happened. Here it is.
Bad thing happened.
but that bad thing happened.
A bad thing. Yeah, that's pretty
What
good.
bad thing happened?
Bad thing did
doesn't say doesn't you've gone that there's a low birth rate, therefore we have to do this. Secular humanism doesn't say there's a low birth rate.
Hello,
Yeah,
Abby.
you know,
Welcome.
read the-
Welcome.
read the tenant
Welcome.
again for me.
Welcome to the show.
It says knowledge in the world is derived by observation, experiment, and rational analysis.
And then what was your prescription?
My prescription, based on my interpretation of this, is that the birth rate is low, therefore all women must be forcibly bred. Experiments must be conducted on them to maximize fertility and therefore maximize human flourishing because science, and that is good.
So you're saying that secular humanism makes a low birth rate.
No, I'm saying that the interpretation here prescriptively on what I'm reading is that this prescription would not in any way counter that tenet.
Well, the fact that there's low birth rates isn't a bad thing. It's not low birth rates, it's lower birth rates.
Is locking women up and breeding
no,
them a bad
absolutely
thing?
not. We wouldn't.
That's not a
sorry.
bad thing, or it is a bad thing?
When I'm in the middle of a sentence
Yeah.
explaining something, that's when you be quiet and listen. Maybe I know you're used to.
Oh.
I know. I'm
people
way,
don't
I'm way
push
out of
back.
line, Craig. I
Yeah,
know.
but if you let me finish my thoughts,
Okay.
Did he hurt your feelings?
Yo.
When I'm talking.
it
Yeah,
is.
okay.
It would be helpful, if I can finish what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
So secular humanism is about harm, and locking people up and doing experiments on them is causing harm, and they wouldn't do that. A lower birth rate doesn't necessarily mean that things are bad. It
Uh-huh.
just means that there is less people than having lots of people.
Uh-huh.
Now, an extremely large birth rate has many problems.
Mhm.
So we can look at what large birth rates cause: poverty, broken families, people being homeless, lots of things like that. So there's no reason secular humanism would, if there is a low birth rate, go and then lock people up and experiment on them, because that is not necessarily a bad thing. And having a slightly lower birth rate can actually help humans flourish. As a secular humanist, we're all about human flourishing, and having a slightly lower birth rate will actually help because it allows better standards of living, less poverty, less problems, less children being abandoned, less family and societal problems from having too many people around. So you have come up with your prescription, which is a prescription I don't agree with. So I don't have to accept your prescription.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so
So if I don't have to accept your prescription, I don't even have
Yeah.
to
Yeah, but the question is like you don't have to accept his position. You have to falsify his position through your worldview.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
Christian. Yeah, so the debate, the thesis is Christianity or secular humanism, which is best. So who's on the positive and who's on the negative? Who's defending the
and-
affirmative?
Andrew would
So
be
you're-
on the positive of a Christian
Okay.
worldview would be better. And Craig here, this guy, he's on the secular humanist side.
Okay, so how is that not burden shifting?
Well, it really isn't, because they're making the claim that it's better.
No,
And so
I'm
now-
talking about I'm talking about from Craig.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so no, just to say, because in the beginning of the debate we said, "Oh, let me remind Andrew why we're really here." Okay, Christianity or secular humanism, which is best? So, if it is the case that Craig is defending from, what do you say, the affirmative or the negative, then, and then he is, that's literally the definition of burden shifting onto Andrew. You haven't given me the argument. You haven't given me the case. You haven't justified your premise. Well, wait a minute. What am I supposed to be doing that by framework of debate?
Yeah, he doesn't have to. He could just give your own framework.
I mean, and that's more of a question of mine. I'm not asserting that to be true. I just want to know, by definition, how is that not a burden?
Well, they don't. Craig doesn't know that yet. He doesn't know that. He doesn't understand that.
Debating, yes, because he's only used to debating flat earthers.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Debunk it. That is your prescription.
Yeah.
And it's not what any secular humanism would say. In fact, that prescription is a logical impossibility based in secular humanism because it includes doing harm. And secular humanists would not do something that includes harm. So, Andrew, whether you realize it or not, and whether your audience realizes it or not, that prescription that you have come from, your interpretation, is a straw man of secular humanism.
A prescription's a straw man.
Your prescription is, because your prescription is based on interpretation that no secular humanism would come to the conclusion of. It is a logical impossibility that secular humanists would lock people up into experiments on them. So to think that a humanist manifesto could include that as a prescription means that you have no clue what secular humanism is.
Okay.
And that's fine. If
now,
you
Craig,
don't know what secular
Craig,
humanism
I've just
is.
let you ramble for forever, right?
But so you said,
Craig, calm down now.
Okay, carry on with your point. So I've had the red.
Here we go.
I apologize.
Knowledge of the world is derived by observation, experimentation, rational analysis. This is a descriptive claim, correct? Okay. Do we make prescriptive claims off of descriptive claims?
If you want.
If you want. So if I were a humanist and I read that, whose interpretation would it be up to as to how it was applied or what the prescription was? Stop. Hang on.
Oh, you asked me a question.
Craig.
Right.
Oh, was I done? Calm down.
You asked the question.
What I'm asking you specifically is, if it is the case that the person reading it is going to be the person who makes the prescription, okay, then if I make a prescription here and it's not debunked by any of the rest of the Humanist Manifesto, and you're going to some external source, in your case, well, you see, there's a logical impossibility because secular humanists wouldn't do that.
Yes.
It doesn't tell us shit, Craig. I'm giving you a prescription based on your first tenet. Hang on, stop. Based on your very first tenet. I need you to use the actual manifesto itself to tell me how it conflicts with that prescription. What you're doing is you're saying, I don't like that prescription. That's great.
Yeah, and that's the huge problem that they have is that you make this claim where it's this is my manifesto. This is what I believe in. Oh my God, Mr. Beans, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out of here. You make this claim in your worldview, and then you can't debunk that within your own worldview. Because in order for something to be true, it must be at possibly falsifiable. You must be able to falsify something.
So excluded middle, right? Okay, and by the way, when we're using this term, it's logically impossible by standards of secular humanism. Are you using the term logically impossible in the colloquial, like arbitrary sense, or do you mean like in the Aristotelian sense? Because if it's logically impossible, then I would like to know what your inference is, and then I would need your premises, and then I would need your conclusion. Because if we're talking about, logic, then we're hearing. So, did he mean that like just in the neighborhood logic, just like it makes that's good logic, or do you mean to say that this is proven illogical by the standard of logic itself? Yeah. I don't think he meant to say that.
Right, nobody gives a shit what you like. Show me in the Humanist Manifesto where it is that it actually debunks this prescription, or says this prescription's wrong, or says this prescription isn't humanist. What I'm claiming is that is humanism.
Okay.
That is a humanist doctrine. You need to show me within the Humanist Manifesto how it's not.
I already did that by explaining that the Humanist Manifesto doesn't say harm. It is about not doing harm. And again, Andrew, you are going back to your own interpretation. Now, secular humanism doesn't have one person's interpretation to take into account. Secular humanism is based on a collective, these shared experiences. We don't take the Bible. We don't take one person.
We need you in the audience to remain quiet, please.
We don't take one person's interpretation and say that's what we're going to stick to. Okay, we don't go, this is the thing that we say because this person wrote this and that is what we stick to. As humanists, we have collective experiences. We will get together and say...
Do you write them in a manifesto?
Yes, because that's a group of collective experiences.
No kidding. You have collective experiences and you put them in a manifesto.
So what we would do you want me to answer the question or are you going to jump in and
how long are you going to take to answer the
question?
Well,
I let you talk for a while to give the question, so let me answer. Are you afraid of me answering the question, Andrew?
I just want you to actually
I'm trying to, Andrew, if you're afraid of me answering the question, just say so.
Just
let me pull you apart.
If you're afraid of me answering the question, then that's
hold
fine.
on 1 second. Let me pull you apart just to reset here. Andrew, can you ask your question one more time?
Yeah, it's really simple. Okay. Yes, I agree. You guys all have collective experiences and you put them in a thing called the Humanist Manifesto, which you just agreed to. Using this Humanist Manifesto of your collective experiences, I gave a prescription. Can you also use that Human Manifesto to debunk that prescription? Tell me why that prescription's wrong using the manifesto itself. I think you can't. I think you can't do it, Craig, because it doesn't tell you shit. It doesn't tell you anything.
Once again,
go ahead. Show me in the manifesto itself where that prescription conflicts with humanism. I'm saying it's a greater form of humanism than your humanism.
Are you done?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Now take a deep breath and let me talk, okay?
Stop doing that.
Right. Once again, Human Manifesto says no harm. It's about not doing harm. It's about human flourishing. Okay. I'm not going to use the exact words because interpretations are a thing. But as secular humanists, we would get together and say, how do we deal with this thing? It's not a particular prescription of things that you have to do. It is an ethical framework. You would take the framework and you would say, how do we deal with this problem? You would get together as a society and using our shared experiences, empathy towards each other, the want to do less harm. How do we deal with this issue? Secular humanists do not do harm. That is the idea of secular humanism, to not do harm, to flourish. So I'm going to use the principles. I don't have to use the specific manifesto because I could just get into the Bible and ask how stoning people on the Sabbath because they went to work is good for society, or how not letting women speak. Andrew, your Bible says that you can beat your slave as much as you want, as long as they can get up afterwards. That comes for a good society. No,
this is ad hoc
tour.
Christianity
is.
It is.
That is ad hoc tour all day.
And what's funny is like, I'm gonna change this to something that to what Jimbo did.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, dude. Like they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, so just from just a sense data reasoning, if I'm just observing this like a typical person would, the amount of stress that he's under right now is very apparent physically. You know, the racing thoughts, the constant interruptions. Like the reason that I know that that's a thing is whenever I'm getting pressured in debate on online forums, that's what I start to do. If you ever see me start to do that, it's probably because I'm in trouble.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give these this other. Here's come on, calm down. Here's some really good
I come off of TikTok jail tonight at midnight, by the way.
Here's some.
I'm super close up. I'm gonna back up. How am I gonna do that? Like this. Like that. Just us two right now, ain't it?
Here we go. Oh, crap. Wrong. Sorry, this ain't TikTok. Here we go.
Charlie Kirk for Charlie Kirk.
I don't want to
That
talk about
sounded
Charlie
like he
Kirk.
hit you
If you
pretty
will-
hard,
I will get very angry if we talk about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, it's fresh on the mind. Did you see my interview with Daily Dose of Wisdom? Probably not, because only 2 people did.
I haven't seen it. Is it on TikTok?
No, it's on my YouTube channel, which is Constantine Dash Chronicles. Act now, and you can be the 37th subscriber.
Yeah, dude. Make. I'm sorry, I never said this before, but make your presence known. Make your presence known.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. Well, there's
yeah,
only just me and you in here.
you fucking idiot.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm Constantine from the Constantine Chronicles. I defend the Christian worldview from and his revelation, which is the Holy Scriptures. My channel on TikTok is Constantine Chronicles at TikTok, and my YouTube channel, which is, you know, humble, is Constantine Dash Chronicles, because the dash is important. I'll actually put it in the chat.
Get that dash in there.
Get that dash in there, boy. Constantine Dash Chronicles, and my last name is Constantine, so I named the show Constantine Chronicles.
There you go. Go follow him as well, guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. Come check me out.
Yeah, dude. Go follow this dude. He's a good Calvi. He might be a Calvi. Okay. Follow him. But we're gonna get into this about atheism from Jim Bob. The one and only, the great Jim Bob.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I watched this earlier because I thought we were going to comment on it. Starting from the beginning is one way, but if you go like an hour and 10 minutes in,
This is different. This isn't with this is like Super Fire.
Yeah.
We'll just watch it. We'll just watch it, okay? So
Well, I think it
want
hit a
you to-
lot of people pretty hard. It's pretty rough seeing.
Dude, I didn't even like
that-
the guy, and it hit me hard.
Like, I didn't agree with the dude, but I respected what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Dante Cruel, who had we've got some.
So this is about old Charlie. Yeah. Oh my.
No,
gosh.
it's not about Charlie.
My words are done.
There was actually one more that no showed, I guess. So hopefully we'll be having one of them joining us here in just a minute. Not the strongest start to this. It's like herding cats, but it is what it is, right? But I do appreciate everybody joining us here today. This should be a ton of fun. Definitely today, I tell you what. But with that, we've got some cool stuff going on. You'll have the ability to. Everybody muted.
I don't want Taco's channel. Come up here for
15 minutes. This
Achieved by observation or experience. It answers science is and is.
Who's that?
Cool.
Taco
So the
Talks?
first
Who's
topic
that?
we're gonna do
There's it's Breakfast Tacos who's holding this live, and they wanted Jim Bob to come up and face like 20 atheists.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I think I've done that before. I think I've done that.
a big super chat.
Oh, you got 2 accounts in here. Great.
I don't know what is going on. I am not seeming able to maintain a connection right now. Like, I keep getting booted.
Do you want us to try to have you go first so we can get you in and out of here? Bad language.
He's had been a different, and I would keep getting booted.
Do you want us to try to have you go first so we can get you in and out of here?
Here we go with atheism.
Yeah, if we can do that, that'd be great.
Cool. So the first topic that we're going to be debating tonight is
Super
going to
chat.
be is evolution scientific? With that being said, I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. This is going to be a back and forth. I'm not going to be doing very much moderation. Moderation is going to be totally subjective. So if you're like subjectively, excessively using bad language, stuff like that, I'll jump in, but I don't think that'll be an issue here. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer to 15 minutes. You guys ready to get started on this first round?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get going. We got 15 minutes. Let's get started.
All right, so I have a lot of words in my head. I'm gonna try my best to get them all out. I will also try to signal when my words are done, and I will also give you the same courtesy and try not to interrupt you. So the debate tonight is evolution scientific? And I am representing the position that it is, a position held by pretty much the entire scientific community, all scientific societies, hospitals, universities.
Everyone
schools.
agrees, so it must be true. It's the consensus fallacy. I mean, everyone agrees.
It is universal that there is no universal truth.
Yeah. Everyone agrees.
These institutions say, yes, evolution is scientific. And what do they mean when they say that? Well, there's a lot of different ways we can characterize it. I've got some textbooks open right here. What science is and is not. What does it mean to say that an approach to a problem is scientific? The goal of science is to investigate and understand the natural world and to explain events in the natural world and use those explanations to make useful predictions. So to me, there are some terms that I think are important for defining if something is scientific. And those are terms like quantifiable, falsifiable, possible, testable, investigable. And I believe evolution qualifies.
I didn't hear it as observable.
That it is quantifiable.
I didn't see observable in there.
It's quantifiable in the way of genetic similarities, comparative anatomies, phenotypic and genotypic similarities.
Hey, don't make them lose, dude. Don't make them lose.
Observable, predictable, testable. I thought that's what the scientific method was.
Well, you're wrong.
Put it in a petri dish, conduct your experiment, send your findings to the next lab where they can do the same thing, observe it, predict it, test it, right? I thought that was a scientific method. I thought it was inductive and it was, or excuse me, deductive. That'd be deductive. I think. I'm an idiot. Anyway, continue. Everyone agrees.
Everyone agrees that I have a girlfriend.
Everyone agrees, bro. It's a consensus.
It's falsifiable in, again, genetics. If we hadn't seen genetic similarities, if ERVs had been at different locations, if when we looked into the fossil record, we'd seen nothing but modern organisms, no matter how deep we dug. If when doing artificial selection, we had never managed to achieve significant changes in a species. These are things that could have falsified evolution. So it is quantifiable in genetics. It is falsifiable in genetics and fossils and artificial selection. And it is a possible solution to unanswered questions. Why are genotypic and phenotypic similarities and differences the way they are? Why do living things sort into nested hierarchical cladistic phylogenies? Why do things like hybrids occur? It answers unsolved problems like how do we make taxonomic phylogenies even better and more accurate? What's the best way to diagnose and treat patients? And in that way, it is, I believe it is science. A lot of people who use evolution for scientific purposes would agree it is a quantifiable, falsifiable, possible solution. And what I find is really interesting is that we're not even debating species fixity anymore, really. We're debating what level of non-species fixity is possible. And I believe full-on macroevolution, universal common ancestry, I believe all that stuff is possible. And I believe it's a good model for science. So what I'm looking for is real data, real substantial, verifiable data that does not support evolution. Because my understanding of the scientific process is that something is scientific if you formulate this possible falsifiable solution to unanswered questions, and then through all your searching of the data, whether that's achieved by observation or experiment, you fail to find data that does not support your model, that your model cannot explain. And if you fail to find that data, it becomes a theory. And this has been the case for evolution for like the past 150, 160 plus years. With all the smartest people we can think of, doing everything they can think of to try and find data that doesn't support evolution, we failed. Like if we could find...
This guy's just saying a bunch of bullshit, dude. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I hope your kids aren't listening, but this guy's just saying a bunch of bullshit, dude.
A single generation of any single species of organisms that just had zero mutations in it, wasn't even slightly different from its parents, that could have falsified evolution. So I believe evolution is quantifiable, falsifiable, possible. I believe that we're not even really debating whether or not evolution is possible. We're debating the extent to which evolution is possible, whether or not evolution is possible only within a created kind, or whether or not evolution is possible all the way back to a universal common ancestor. And I really hope I'm not misrepresenting your position at all, Jim Bob. And with that, I think I won't take the full 15 minutes. I'm interested to hear your feedback.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like there was a lot of descriptions of things in there. I didn't get a criteria for determining what constitutes something to be scientific, especially in regards to theory. So I hold to a pretty strict criteria for what constitutes a scientific theory, and evolution is often posited and presented as a scientific theory in nature. And in nature, in natural science, there is a very strict methodology called the scientific method, which evolution itself cannot be brought through.
Right.
So when you mention method, observing data is not itself a
look!
methodology.
Observation.
Oopsie doopsie.
Yeah, you gotta have observation. I don't know. I'm just a dumb Christian.
Yeah, oopsie doopsie.
Conflicting
the Crusades
hypotheses about something could actually use the same data. So the data isn't actually what determines the theory. Really, what determines the theory and the only arbiter between two scientific theories is actually an experiment. And so nothing in your opener there gave me any experimentation. It merely pointed to data. And then you're basically saying any data that supports my hunch is called scientific. Well, that's not true, because you could have incorrect models that share the same data with accurate models, and one model could be right and one model can be wrong, and yet they have the same data. So what I would be looking for someone to argue evolution is scientific, specifically a scientific theory, it should be a pretty simple task. Take us through the scientific method with one observation, and lead us through the scientific method, which is pretty.
You want to say something?
Yeah, scientific method is observe, predict, repeat, test, and then take it to another lab under this same findings with these results, and then produce the same results. If you can't do that, then it doesn't pass the scientific method. And by his own admission, he says, "Oh, now it fails to be a fact. Now it's into the realm of theory." Okay, but it's not presented as a theory. Right, you're saying it's a theory, but basically, bro, trust me, bro, it's a fact. Okay, because everyone agrees. Okay, well, unless you can put it in a petri dish, guess what? I don't. Am I everyone? I don't know. here's the thing: I don't have any problems with evolution at the micro scale, but at the same time, for this, just to hand wave in, to hand wave in solutions that don't address irreducible complexity, I'm going to dismiss that. Oh, it's because your biblical worldview. Oh, okay, I guess. But I mean, so look. Are you okay, dude? Do you need help?
No, I just had to sneeze, dude. I had to sneeze.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to this evolution thing, they don't even know how it works. 2016, the Royal Society of Science, they all convened together as a convention, convening as a convention. As a convention, they convened. What did that mean? They have a consensus at the con. So it's Royal Science Con, right? And they all come together and they say, hey, check it out. Man, we need a new mechanism because our mechanism does not work for gradualism because of the mathematical improbability. So we all agree that it works. We just don't know how it works. Okay, well, if you can't tell me how it works, why should I agree that it works? Well, because we do? No, dude, I'm not doing that.
Well, you're forgetting one thing.
What? The Crusades?
No, it is because it is.
All right. Yeah.
It is.
Be rudimentary. And only at the tail end of that scientific method can you develop a scientific theory.
Oh, wait, hold on. Did he just say theory? Okay, I'm misunderstood. Because it's not proven with the scientific method, you can only develop a theory, or you cannot develop a theory through the scientific if it fails the scientific method.
Yeah.
Like, back that up. What'd he say?
Cannot be brought through. So when you mention method, observing data is not itself a full methodology. The reason is two conflicting hypotheses about something could actually use the same data. So the data isn't actually what determines the theory. Really, what determines the theory and the only arbiter between two scientific theories is actually an experiment. And so nothing in your opener there gave me any experimentation. It merely pointed to data, and then you're basically saying any data that supports my hunch is called scientific. Well, that's not true, because you could have incorrect models that share the same data with accurate models, and one model could be right and one model can be wrong, and yet they have the same data. So what I would be looking for someone to argue evolution is scientific, specifically a scientific theory, it should be a pretty simple task. Take us through the scientific method with one observation and lead us through the scientific method, which is pretty rudimentary. And only at the tail end of that scientific method can you develop a scientific theory.
So if it fails, observe, predict, repeat, and test, then it can't be a theory. Is that true?
No.
I'd like to know if that's true. I'd like to see how he responds to that.
Oh.
All right. I actually, I think I do have something prepared as far as taking evolution through the scientific method. Let me take a moment to address it, or rather to pull it up.
Just so we're clear, could we actually agree on what the scientific method is first?
My understanding of the scientific method is that it's one of those things.
He's going to say a whole lot to say, well, the world is our lab. What? If you boil his statement in what he's going to say, he's going to do just a bunch of nuance and gish galloping, dude. And then he's going to say the world is our lab, bro. Watch.
It's simultaneously true that there both is no exact one scientific method and that there's multiple at the same time. Like,
how many are there?
For instance, I have my biology book here. It has one scientific method in it. I have my chemistry book right beneath it, and it has a slightly different scientific method. They all have similarities in that they all include observations, finding patterns, trends, and laws, and formulating and testing hypotheses, and then the penultimate
culmination
of these steps and processes is the formulation of a theory.
Did you say
So, like,
scientific
for
methods find laws?
Oh yeah.
Find patterns, trends, and laws.
The scientific
That would be
method
the-
finds a law?
That is the second step listed in the scientific method described in my chemistry textbook, which is Chemistry, the Central Science 9th edition by Brown, LeMay, and Burston.
How many
It has-
scientific methods are there, Austin?
I don't think there is one exact number. Like I said, it's like one of those
It's
things
like
where
gender. It's kind of like gender.
yeah, I don't know. I don't really study the genderology stuff very much, but I have sympathy for people who have gender dysphoria. But it's like
Poor baby. Poor baby.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
there is a kind of essence to the scientific method that all methods have like similarities. Like
Thank you,
both
Abby. Thank
the
you.
scientific method listed in my bio book, listed in my microbio book, listed in my chemistry book, they all mention observations, they all mention patterns, they all mention
son, I got them
formulating
books, son.
hypotheses, and they all mention theory as being the ultimate.
We got them books, bro.
Books on books, son.
Yeah, we got them books, dude. I mean, like, what other book do you want me to pull up, dude? I got books.
Got books, son.
Nigga, I got books.
Books on books.
Books on books, nigga, books.
Culmination. There are things they have in similar. There's things that are similar between different scientific methods, but there are some subtle differences. Like for the chemistry one, it mentions patterns, trends, and laws specifically because that is a major part of chemistry. There are several laws that dictate how a chemical reaction occurs, like the law wherein you don't lose any mass during chemical reactions.
Okay. So I would say that laws describe regularities. They don't establish cause to those regularities. And the scientific theory is a likely cause of an observation, a phenomenon. And so the reason I want to get strict on this is if you're holding the view that you don't even know if there's an actual number of the scientific methods in it's a plural view, then you really couldn't even tell me there could be a scientific method out there in which evolution is not scientific, right? And there could be a scientific method where it is scientific and so forth, right?
So the way I understand it is that generally you're not going to formulate a new scientific method without significant reason to do so. So one of the reasons we use different forms of scientific method is because they are better suited to specific forms of study, like how the chemistry statement of the scientific method is structured to specifically address things.
Austin, I hate to,
how,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I did ask a pretty pointed question here, which is if you
how
hold.
do I know? There's a lot.
No, I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. I asked a very specific question. If you hold that there could be an infinite amount of scientific methods, does it follow that one of those methods or more than one of those methods demonstrates evolution to be not scientific, and one of those methods does present it to be scientific? Can two scientific methods contradict each other?
I have never seen two scientific methods.
Is it logically possible if there's an infinite amount unknown? Because you said I don't know how many scientific methods there are.
I don't believe that there's an infinite amount, but there is a minimum. There is at least like a dozen to 20 different scientific methods.
There's a dozen. Okay, so if I wanted to determine the cause of a certain phenomenon, you're saying one group of scientists could use one method and another group of scientists could use another, and that would be sufficient arbitration between the two theories?
I would think so, because they're going to have.
Oh, you got dropped.
I'll pause that. There's 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to pause that for a second. In the meantime, while we're waiting for him to reconnect, I did put up a vote. I'm going to put up a vote, probably starting at like 10 minutes into each debate, just so everybody has time to vote, and we'll announce that, I guess, moving into the next person that's joining the debate. But if y'all want to vote on that, I have a poll up. Feel free to vote on the polls for whoever you think wins each of the smaller debates. I'm restarting your timer.
So, Austin, if I said I want to know what causes scurvy, the symptoms of scurvy, and I wanted to conduct a scientific method by introducing some variables, right? Are you saying that, given that you're holding that there's at least 12 different scientific methods, right? If I did an experiment introducing a variable and removing the variable and determining whether or not repeating that actually produced the symptoms of scurvy or eliminated the symptoms of scurvy, and I was able to develop a theory about that, what would be the determining factor for debunking that theory?
What I would say is you can use any scientific method to debunk that theory if, in using that scientific method, you are honest and you are able, through honest methods, to acquire data that doesn't support the hypothesis,
honesty,
the theory, the model.
So honesty is your scientific method?
Honesty is very important in the scientific method. It wouldn't be the whole method, but it's an important part of it.
Okay, so if I say X causes scurvy, and then someone said, well, how do you know that? And I said, well, I introduced X, and it actually demonstrated to produce the effects of scurvy. And when I remove X, the symptoms go away. So it's reasonable for me to conduct these experiments and come home to a scientific theory that says X causes this symptom. Now, I asked you, how would you go about falsifying that if you didn't use the exact method I used?
Yeah, I could use any scientific method. They probably won't be the exact same, but they'll rhyme. And what will rhyme about them is that my ultimate goal is to find data that does not support your theory.
Well, no, we're not talking about just data. Wait.
If I could replicate your experiment and I manipulate a different variable and it produces the same effect, that would be data that doesn't necessarily support your conclusion.
Well, that would be actually holding to my view that you're using the same scientific method. You're observing a phenomenon in nature, you're positing a cause to the phenomenon, and you name that your hypothesis. You introduce the said assumed cause, you remove it, you repeat, and you determine whether or not it causes, in this case, the effects called scurvy. Now, there might be more than one cause to scurvy, perhaps, but the method itself is the same. And the reason I'm pretty strict with this is that if you were to say evolution makes its way through the scientific method, and you held a view that you don't even know how many scientific methods there are, isn't it possible that evolution might not make it through one of those methods, given that you hold a plural view of the scientific method?
Every method, every scientific method is going to be based on finding data that doesn't support evolution. If a scientific method found data that didn't support evolution, then yeah, that would be the case.
Well, the thing is, data itself is not a method.
Data collection is the method.
I know, but two different competing hypotheses have the same data. How do you arbitrate between who has the right
collect
view?
More data.
Dude, okay, hold on a second. Listen to your reasoning. I collect a bunch of data. Some other person collects a bunch of data. We have the same data. I have a theory. I have a hunch about the data, right? What's happening? They have a hunch, but they contradict. We don't know who's right. You said, well, how do we determine? I asked, how do you determine, right, whose view of the data is correct? You said more data. This is like sola scripturis for science.
You would need more data in that case if both of the explanations are equally parsimonious.
Do you understand that more data?
If you ever find data that doesn't support one hypothesis while not having found data that doesn't support the other, you've ruled it out. So the answer is to collect more data.
No. Look, let's just skip to the end. Let's say, hypothetically, two scientists have all the data. There is no extra data. They're given the highest amount of data possible, in
All
the
right, that's
scenario.
time with the 2 minutes that were added on. That is time. Go ahead and finish your statement, and then we'll move on to the next one.
If he says more data, all I'm going to really say is you get two people who have the most amount of data that's possible, hypothetically. They both have the same amount of data. They're actually in a separate room. If the person in one room says, well, here's my hypothesis about what's going on with this data, that's an interpretation of the data. Another person interprets it differently. I asked Austin, how do you determine which one is the right? And he says more data, right? But more data means just more interpretation of the data. And so the same question, that's like when I ask a Protestant, they read the scripture and I go, how do you know you're interpreting the scripture? And they say, well, I just like use the Holy Spirit. And then another person says the same thing. And I go, well, how do you guys know who's correct here? And they guess what they say? More data. Go read more. It's the same exact methodology. I mean, Austin here is literally a Protestant for science.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've never been called that before. I've been
Well,
called an Evolutheran before.
That's actually, that's a good one. I like that one. An Evolutheran.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Thanks.
Cool.
All right, if you want to move on to somebody else.
Yeah, and if you wanna
Thanks,
hang out-
Austin. Thank you, Austin.
If you want to hang out in the back for the Q&A portion, we'll get you pulled back up. I didn't see anybody bidding on the next round, so I guess what topic would you like to address next, Jim Bob?
Whoever wants to come up. I mean, all the prompts are laid out there. So whoever's available with their making sort of like a weird composite building.
I mean, because it doesn't seem like a straightforward.
Okay, real quick. Let me ask
excluded
something.
metal, like it would be like creative.
So, what is the platform that they're on? Are they on YouTube?
This is Discord right now. They're on Discord.
This is Discord. Okay, now, and he's streaming via Restream or whatever onto YouTube.
Yeah.
So he just dropped this last guest.
No, Jim Bob here, guy with the beard.
Yeah.
Guy up here. He
I know
has.
who, I know who he is.
Yeah,
Not a lot, but
he has it's an atheist channel, and they bring up like, I think it was like probably like 5 different people. You try to debunk his worldview.
Okay, so I don't really know how Discord works, but so it's going to be in succession. So okay, cool. And he's in the EO tribe. He's in the EO tribe.
Yes. Yeah. He is an Orthodox. Yeah.
Okay.
But these debates, like, if you follow these rules, oh shit, damn. If you follow these rules, then you will be you can't be defeated.
Versus uncreated, discovered versus non-discovered, but depending on what you mean, it could be.
Yeah, like I guess I'm saying, like, if we look at knowledge and truth conceptually, is it the case in your experience that even inductively, examining the universe, taking in inputs, examining, evaluating the inputs, and coming to conclusions, the question becomes: are we actually discovering something true, or are we sort of like making sort of like a weird composite building and just assuming any of it's true, but we're not really building on anything. It's just like a fabrication, a construction, is truth a construction versus are we actually discovering truth?
Well, in terms of truth, I would certainly affirm that there are, if we mean by created something like not a human invention, then sure, like the truth that we have a moon, or so there's a plenitude of facts that
precede
are not,
us.
Yeah, right. But I think there are at least some created truth makers. Like, let's say I draw a stick figure, and then I form the belief that I drew this. Presumably, that would be a created truth maker for the proposition.
Okay, but that would still require a bunch of discoverables like language. and math and logic and way of making propositions. Like you're just kind of granting yourself the methodology in which you're going to actually make statements and determine they're truthful or not. So I'm not just talking about propositional truths. I'm talking more about capital T truth, or let's say knowledge maybe is a little less, philosophically dense here. If knowledge, if there's something we actually discover within knowledge, like do we actually discover it, given that we're examining the natural world, or are we actually making it up? Are we inventing it?
Well, so like knowledge is like it's like there's a several concepts wrapped in upon that, and some of those concepts could be discovered. Some of them could, like for example, like belief. Like if we're going to say something like beliefs are discovered, I'm not sure what that would mean, you know?
Well, let's say I assume you also believe in evolution. Yes?
Yeah, it's not my area of expertise though, but you
That's
can
fine.
go with
I'm
it.
not going to go granular with it. I'm just saying like something that's like to you is obviously true. Like whatever. Let's do something more basic, like the way in which the local universe operates, movements and whatnot. You would agree that the way in which it moved preceded our existence?
Yeah.
Okay. And if it's the case that the way in which it was preceded our existence, then the knowledge of the way it is and the way it was is discovered. Is that fair?
It depends. Like, because knowledge again. So if we're just going to ignore belief, I would say that the truth makers are discovered. Like the state of affairs that the Earth orbits the sun was discovered. It wasn't like a human invention that we made the Earth orbit the sun or something.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they invented the reality of it, but did we actually discover that things operate a certain way, or did we invent that it operated a certain way and we just think we're right?
Again, like certainly there are discovered truths.
Okay, so if there's a discoverable truth, this is the key here. If there's a discoverable truth,
Just real quick,
would you agree that it existed in a particular way or a universal way before we discovered it? Because
in this room or this domain or whatever, however Discord works, because I'm used to a different platform. Is it are these like their premier atheists? No, you're muted.
Yeah, it is a it is a atheist channel. Yeah, it is.
Okay, so are they the high end opposition?
If that's what you want to call the high end, then yes.
Well, the reason that I'm asking, bro, is because like, dude, we get much more sophisticated contention than that on TikTok. Like I've never seen anything else but TikTok for debate. Like when I'm looking at this, I'm like, what? That's terrible, bro.
Yeah, that's their arguments. They don't have anything. I mean, like
yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, I've never heard of these dudes. I assume that they exist only on Discord or whatever. But like, I'm they've never come across my feed. I just wonder why they hang out. Are there? Okay, I guess this is what I'm kind of. Here's what I'm packaging the question in. Are they? Or is there a lower band of Is there like a lower tier level of atheists on on Discord?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me try this dude real quick and see what he's got, because
the evil, if you could, in premises.
I think this is about
the
because
God.
conditions
Yeah,
for you even to something like this.
The howdy dude
is not
is boring,
identical to the meaning.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Yeah, I'm just looking for familiar names and faces, but
you won't find any.
Which
on
means
this
that
one, but I think this one's about evil.
yeah, but look, man, I actually got to be going, bro.
All right.
I got to be bouncing out of here. But yo, check this out, man. Thanks for having me up, dude. I had a good time. looking at some of this. I'm really interested in. I'm going to follow Jim Bob more. I know of him. I didn't know he was in the Eastern Tribe, but I know he's really smart. I like everything he's got to say. But yeah, dude, man, thanks for what do they call it? Staging me? Thanks for having me up. No, there's another really cool, like, clickish word for it. Thanks for. That's gonna kill.
Thanks for.
I don't know what it's called. Man, thanks for not broadcasting. Profile, not profile.
Coming.
Platforming. Thanks for platforming.
Okay.
Thanks for platformming me, man. Yeah,
not
dude, I had
coming.
a good time.
Not coming, everyone. You
degenerates. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being. Yeah, thanks for platforming me, bro. But yeah, man, I answer to a transcendent source of authority that is external to me, and which I appeal to. It's my wife, so she's like, "Yo, wrap it up, wrap it up." So I gotta get on before I get spit on. You know what I'm saying?
Mrs. Constantine, you are depriving us.
Yeah, right. But yeah, dude, I had a good time, man. Thanks for having me up, bro. I appreciated it, and it was a good time. I guess
you want to do more. You want to do more?
Yeah, I do. I want to do more. I know this was short, like 2 hours is typically short for the time that we normally spend online debating atheism. But yeah, man, anybody who's interested in some of the minuscule and mundane stuff that I have to say, catch me at Constantine Chronicles on TikTok. How about that?
Get shit out there. Get it out there.
Yeah. My name's Michael Constantine, and I'm the Constantine Chronicles. I defend Christ, not Christians, and I defend the scriptures of his revelation. And I try to have open and honest debate on my platform with the prompt saying atheism cannot explain reality, and that's how I platform, and I welcome other guests to come up with opposing worldviews. Sometimes I even let dirty Orthodox guys like John come up and help me out when I get in trouble. Right, pull that lever. Ding ding, help me out on the ropes.
We're all here, guys. We're all here. Let's have fun. That's what we're here to do right now. Just have fun.
We're all here.
So,
yeah, man. Listen, thanks for educating me on all the things that you've educated me on the past, and help me look further into those church fathers and all that good stuff that I've been learning about since I've been exposed to Orthodoxy. I feel very welcome amongst the presence of that tribe. And I like what they have to say. So thanks for platforming me, even though I'm not amongst you, because some of them are like, no, let's get that dirty Calvinist out of here. But I appreciate being amongst you and hearing everything that you've got to say. And thanks for listening to me, even though what I say is sometimes, out of equal wave, but what I can. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Dude, I don't care where you come from. I don't care.
I guess that's what they do, like in the clubs or whatever. I don't know if that's what they do. I think this is like when I visualize the youth, banning, like hyping, I guess you could say. I think they do this. So this is what I'm trying to emulate. I don't even know if that's correct. I'm just up here awkward with my hands. I don't even.
You don't want me. Yeah, but I'm not gonna shake my booty. If you guys want to see shake my booty,
I don't have athleticism. Send it in the super chat. Send it in the super chat, bro.
Constantine shakes his booty at ofconstantine.com.
What? All right, I'm out, man.
What?
I don't even know that was a thing. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all, bro.
Okay, take care, my friend. I'm gonna end this.